Hi, it's Mel from Jen and Mel. I'm going to make my meatballs today. It is Sunday, and I like to have meatballs on Sunday. So I have bread soaking in milk. I used a semolina roll, and it was about this big, and I just took the inside out, stuck it in that bowl, and put some milk. I have beef, pork, and veal, and I'm going to use 1 pack of that, add it to a big bowl, and then an extra packet of pork. I like all pork sometimes too. But if you don't want to use the pork, it's fine. You do you. This is my recipe from my grandmother. This is what I did. So you put the meat in the bowl, and then I'm going to use some eggs. I'm going to probably use about 5 or 6. A lot of eggs. 1, whoops, no shells. 2. Oh my God, what's that? That's a shell. 3, no, I didn't get it in. 4 and 5. I'm gonna do 5 because that bread is kind of wet, and I don't want it too mushy because then they'll fall apart when I'm frying. All right, and then I'm gonna add the bread with the milk, and then I'm gonna put a little garlic powder, just a very little bit, because you want it to taste like meatball. You don't want it tasting all seasoned up. And some garlic powder, and I'm gonna use some black pepper, about 8 churns, some salt. The pork is very salty, so I don't really need to use a lot of salt. If you're just using beef, I would put a little bit more salt. And then my grandmother always said, don't be afraid of the parsley and don't be afraid of the cheese. So I have a freeze-dried parsley. You could use fresh. I'm not going to be afraid of it. And I think that means about 2 tablespoons. And then my cheese, I'm going to use a lot. Don't be afraid of the cheese. The bread I got from Jen's cousin Felicia. She's the one that told me to use the wet bread. My grandmother used to use 4C breadcrumbs, but she would add a little bit of water. And I think this is actually better. Sorry, Nan. Rest in peace. Sorry. I think this is better. Okay. And then my grandmother used to do this too, because my brother hated garlic. He would gag if he found it. She always used garlic, and he never knew. So she grated it on the grater. And then she would do just 1 clove, but not those big chunks, because if he found that, he would gag and throw himself on the floor like an actor in a show. All right. So, and he was the prince. He still is. My mother would carry him around on a pillow if she could. All right, so we're gonna chop that really fine on this grater so you can't see. You could probably use a garlic press. Hey, I never thought of that. And just chop that up in there. And then we're gonna use our hands, clean hands, and just mix it all together. And I do everything by feel. So I know what it felt like when I would help her. And it was a little grainier because of the breadcrumbs than the actual bread, but I still know the feel. So if I feel like this needs a little bit, if it's a little too wet, I'm gonna add some more cheese to just dry it up a bit. But it's feeling good. Good thing I only did the 5 eggs. I don't need 6. And just keep mixing it around, and you're gonna feel it. It's gonna start to come together. I don't know what I'm feeling. I can't explain it. Everybody's like, well, what do you mean? I don't know what I mean. I just know. That happens sometimes. All right, so keep mixing it up. So now I'm gonna fry them in olive oil. I use extra light olive oil, and this is good for frying because the regular, sometimes I do fry in the extra virgin olive oil, but A, it's too expensive, and B, it burns very quickly, and it kind of catches fire a little bit if it's too high. So this I could put at high heat for frying, and I put about 1/4 cup. You could see how much is in there on the bottom, and I let that heat up, and then I'm going to start making my meatballs. Now when I do lasagna, I make those small ones, but I'm not making lasagna with this. This is going to be, see, this feels too wet to me. Too wet, Felicia. I feel like I need to do a little bit of 4C. I'm going to doctor it with 4C. All right, hold on 1 second. Dirty hands. All right, I'm going to put some 4C. They're too wet, I could tell. I need my 4C. I love 4C. I'm very brand specific. Like I noticed Jen used her for that sheet lasagna, which looked really good. She used that brand of ricotta. I don't like that brand at all, and it was on sale in ShopRite. I can only use Polly-O, and she makes fun of me about brands, but I'm very brand specific. See, now this to me is still wet, Felicia. I'm gonna try it anyway. No, still wet. I know. Listen to yourself. Believe in yourself, because sometimes you know better, and then you're trying to talk yourself out of things. Don't talk yourself out of things. Talk yourself into things. That's my advice for today. All right. Better. That's it. That's it. See, now I can tell, I can feel it, and I know that that's the texture. And watch, as I roll it, you see how it makes more of a ball than a plop. All right, that's it. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to fry these up. I'll turn them around, and I'll show you the finished product. Some of them are cooked. I have a very big batch of meat here, so these are finished products. And then I'll cook them in the sauce. Usually I just par cook them if I have a big pot of sauce going, but I actually have vodka sauce from Vita Mia in Lodi. That's where I grew up. And they had it in my grocery store, their vodka sauce. I'm going to use that and their fresh pasta. So that's going to be the finished meal. Meatballs with Vita Mia, pasta, vodka sauce, and fresh pasta. And I have Italian bread. So, mangia. And that's all I got. Thanks. Bye.